Welcome to the Deep End, where nothing's off limits and no topic is too deep. We're John and Jesika, diving straight into raw, real, and unfiltered conversations that hit hard and make you think.
If you're ready to break boundaries and challenge the norm, then hold on tight, because we're about to go deep. All right, so soft parenting.
It's some bullshit.
Well, see, I'm the soft parent. See, you're a hard parent.
Obviously.
You're a hard parent. I'm a soft parent.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the soft parent.
So.
I don't have a choice.
How you don't?
Because I got girls.
I got girls.
Yeah, see, but you can afford to be tough with your girls. I can't.
What you mean by afford to be?
Because you can relate. You can say, as a woman, I need to show you how to be strong. I can't say that as a man.
So I can hear what you say. No, I can't. Because that has never entered my mind when disciplining my girls. But what I can acknowledge is I think there is a difference in the gender of your children. Like with you being a father and then having an opposite sex children. Yes, I can see there being some nuance there versus me being the same gender as mine. So yeah, I could get that.
But how many times have you told your girls, hey, this world is cruel. You need to be strong. You need to defend. You need to advocate for yourself. You need to defend yourself. Stuff like that.
I mean, that was kind of like the principle, the philosophy of life that we live by in all things. But that was more so because we black.
Right. So
maybe the rules don't apply the same to you.
So that's your experience as a black woman to your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the experience I want to give my daughters is this is how your husband should protect you.
That's important.
Right.
Stupid important.
Let me tell you the story I had. So it was, I was younger, just my two daughters at the time. It was a long week. I'm frustrated. We have a routine before we go to bed. It was bath, book, Bible in bed, something like that. And so I got in, it was late, I was running behind. It was my time to bathe the kids. So I run their water and I put the kids in there and they're just laughing. They having a ball. And I'm just trying to get through it. And so, you know, every time I would bathe one, the other one would throw soap on throw soap or something to make my time go. And they just having a ball.
Kids being kids, yeah.
But I'm frustrated.
Right.
And I just out of the blue said something that I regret saying. I was like, would you guys just shut up? And the look on my daughter's faces was like, oh my goodness, daddy yelled at us.
And did, yeah. You be all right.
And they I could see the tears rolling up in their eyes. I literally almost got a tub with them. I mean, I hugged them. I hugged them so tight. And I was like, yo, daddy had a bad day. I'm sorry. Daddy shouldn't have yelled at you. I mean, it hit my heart. Now, if it was a boy, I'd have been like, yeah, I said shut up.
Yeah.
Hurry up.
Right. And I do understand it. And I think yes, like they used to always say, like disciplining your children from a place of your anger, a place of your frustration, that's never the goal. But yelling at them because they deserve to be yelled at, they genuinely deserve to be yelled at. Not saying that them babies in a bathtub is a genuine, situation. But if that was, I don't see anything wrong with that. And I think that's where we've gotten away from in this whole soft parenting era.
I'm a punk.
Oh,
I'm a punk. I'm telling you, I'm a punk. I'm the biggest punk there is. Because I'm telling you, there are times when I know that I have the correct behavior. And I will. Like, I will not hold back as far as training. I will, for example, my oldest daughter can be selfish. She thinks about herself before she thinks about anyone else.
Is she a Capricorn?
Something, I don't know.
Anyhow, yeah.
But she will think about herself. And so I try to talk to her. And there was this one particular day, we had to make an extra stop because we were taking my youngest daughter to school too, because I'm teaching my oldest daughter how to drive. So every morning she drives and I take my time out of my day to let her drive, and then I'll take her car home, and then I'll get in my car or whatever sometimes. But this particular day, she had to take my youngest daughter with us, and she didn't want to be a little bit late for school. Now, she wasn't going to be late, but she wasn't going to be as early as she normally gets there. And I'm like, it's one time, it's not every day. You're going to be a little bit later than you want to be, but you're still going to make it on time. Why wouldn't you sacrifice and do that? But she was just like, but Daddy, you don't just understand. I want to be at school early.
Oh, who wants that? You couldn't have paid me for that.
So I'm getting upset. And I'm trying to teach her a lesson. And so I started to really get tough with her. Like, I don't want to hear it. You're just spoiled. What I need to do is take all this stuff away from you. You need to understand what suffering is. This is what I'm saying. And I'm like, I don't want to hear no more. And I'm just like, I'm going to stick to my guns on this one.
Yeah.
She go again and start crying. And these were genuine tears. She was like, Daddy, I just didn't want to be late to school. I'm like, I understand. Let's go to school. I'll drive to school.
Yeah. No. See, okay, so if
I told you I'm a punk.
The parents are definitely the problem. Yes, we are. But in that situation, like if that were me, right, with my girls, in same situation, and if my girls had, or one of them had responded that same way that your baby did and started crying, I would have asked what you're crying for. I wouldn't have just given in like that, because for me, it's like there's something else maybe that you're not telling me, because this particular situation right here, it don't warrant no tears, boo. So then what's really going on? Like, is there some little agreement or whatever that you got with a friend? You trying to meet up with them, that you're not telling me, but something else is happening. I'm not gonna just give in to these tears. Right. But I think, to our earlier point, it's easier for me as a woman.
Yeah, because you know how
to be that with girls. Exactly. Yes.
Exactly. I agree. I didn't even think, now I want to go back and ask her, but I didn't even think that, maybe she has some agreement with someone else, like there's some other pressure going on. Like, why are you crying over this? I don't know. So, I mean, parenting is hard.
It's hard, and there is absolutely not a single rule book out. I mean, people always want to write books, but no, there is no book that can prepare you for parenting. Okay. I was talking with my baby this morning, and she works at the Boys and Girls Club where she lives, and she is responsible for the, I think she's K through third graders. And so she's sharing with me what they call now big feelings these children have these days, and how to manage that, because that ain't how she grew up at all. Like, you don't get to have no tantrums. You don't get to just bust out crying, for no reason. So, but this is what these kids are doing. And so she's just sharing with me, these different scenarios, and she wants to be like, she stepped on your shoe? For real? That's you crying about? No, go play. But she has to actually take time to be like, what's going on? What's happening? It ain't doing nothing but making no wicked in my mind.
I think that's healthy. I think the problem. I think it's healthy. I'm not opinion. I think it's healthy.
Okay.
But here's my problem. The high schoolers. Think about all the things where you see where the teacher just loses and finally just yoke one of these high schoolers up and throw them across the room, letting them know, like, man, you was just a little kid. Stop acting like you grown. To me, I think they need that. Like,
okay, I'm gonna test your gangster though. I'm gonna test your gangster. So if one of them teachers at your child's school did that to your baby,
yeah, you're right.
Right.
They better have police up there when I get there.
But and that's so different from how it was that we grew up. Our generation. So it's like any adult essentially could reprimand you the way that your parents did back then.
There was a sense of respect.
Correct. Yeah. Any adult could yoke you up, back then, and then would tell your parents what they did, and then your parents would still yoke you up again, back then. And that's not what we're seeing in these in our kids. We are not treating our kids that way. Why not?
So is it my fault? Is it soft parents like me?
Oh, like I said, we the punk ass parents. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's my fault, y'all. I'm
Yeah.
too punkish.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
but I mean, I have good kids.
Yeah.
They're respectful. So I don't think I did a bad job.
Mm-hmm.
My kids are respectful. They're a little selfish, a little spoiled, but they're respectful. They do what they're asked to do. They can be self-motivated. They have a lot of good qualities. I don't want to paint them in a bad light at all.
Yeah. I mean, there's kids. Yeah.
But there's some kids that are just unruly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering what kind of home is generating the unruly, I'm grown.
Right.
Because, so I'll give you an example. I have my middle daughter. She can be a little rough.
Mm-hmm.
And she was being a little snarky with the coach.
Mm.
And the coach called me, and I tried to go up to school and sit in her class.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Okay,
they wouldn't let me sit in the class, but I went up to the school. I put her out in front of the coach. I scolded her in front of the coach, in front of the staff, and I'm like, look, you can't handle this. You're going to private school.
Mm.
I will unenroll you, and you're going to private school of
Not
my
private
choice.
school as a punishment. Okay.
Shoot. I was about the one I was gonna take it to.
Okay.
Yeah. She like her friends. She did not want to leave her friends. And she knew I was serious. And I didn't have another problem out of it. She stopped doing it. I said, I will unenroll you tomorrow and I will put you in private school.
And I think that right there is the point, right? So what you did, I don't think that was considered soft. I don't think it was considered tough. To me, it's just good parenting. But you had to exhibit a toughness to get your point across. Like, I mean, business. And that's what allowed your child, or motivated, maybe I should say, your child to shape up. And that's not what it seems we're seeing enough of in this whole soft parenting era. These kids are not learning the lessons. The kids are running amok.
Well, they're asking questions that I don't think we asked when we were growing up.
Absolutely. They actually have a voice. We didn't. We couldn't ask no questions.
My daughter asked stuff and she'd make points. And I'm like, this is such a ridiculous point. But she's genuinely looking for an answer. You know, why can't I go and hang out with my friends all night until 2 o'clock in the morning? I'd be up at 2 o'clock in the morning anyway if I was in my room.
That ain't the point.
I'm like, yo, I can't even answer this.
Well, because it's not, and I think that's the part. It's not for us to answer. Because, like, you don't get to ask me that. The only thing you get to do is what I told you going to do. That's it. That's how it was in my house, okay? Now, granted, with my children, I did tell them, these are the rules, okay? I'm not swaying from them rules. I will allow you to ask a question about them. I will allow you to express to me your feelings about the rules. They ain't gonna change. But just so you learn to develop your voice, and I want you to know that you do have one, and it's worth listening to, but just because you can express yourself does not mean that anything is going to change.
So I got a real issue. Some people are not going to understand. Let's talk about religion for a second.
Okay.
Because I know that parents try to give their kids their religion. And now this was a problem growing up even for me. We fight against it because a lot of restrictions in religion.
Right.
Okay, so you with me on that? So I belong to a particular religion that doesn't believe in doing certain things 1 day a week. So on Saturday, I'm an Adventist, and so from Friday night to Saturday night, we respect that day.
Okay.
Of
and what do you not do?
God. So the day is focused on your relationship, your time with God.
Okay.
Right. So anything that's your time, things that you do on your own, like work or play, like, I mean, like schoolwork, stuff like that, things, we tend to not do and focus more on things for God.
Okay.
So here's the problem. My daughter plays basketball and she's pretty good. Like I want to invest and get her
games on
trainer.
Friday nights. And
most of them. And so we let her join the basketball team and she could play all the Thursday games, all the Wednesday games they have. During the summertime, she could play the early games but she can't play after sunset. And that has been a strong rule. And we have had some real hard conversations with her. And she's been very disappointed, to the point she was like, when I become an adult, I'm not gonna follow your religion. And it hurts because I'm like, I'm trying to give you the best I can give you.
Right.
But you're hating what I'm giving you.
So yes, I can hear that dilemma, and but I look at it a little bit differently, right? So I think that children get to follow a process that is strictly what we would understand a child would do. Right. Okay. And what I mean by that is, as the parents, it is our responsibility to, as you just said, give our children the best that we can. You don't have to agree with it. It's not really for you to agree, because I'm the one responsible for you becoming this amazing adult. Okay. I have a job to do. And so a part of that job is, this is how we worship, the day we worship. It is what it is. Now, when you become an adult, absolutely, you get to make whatever decisions that you've seen or feel that you want to make. Until then, this is my job. So you can hate me, but I owe something to you. And then as a religious person, more than that, I owe something to the Most High. So I think oftentimes parents think that they have to give in to their children's feelings, those temporary feelings. Like, that's not what this is about.
You're right.
This is my parental job first.
Being a single man was easy for me. Being a married man was easy. Parenting was...
That fatherhood, though. Parenting different, yeah.
Totally different.
See, I don't know nothing about that. I had a kid at 18. So... yeah. I don't know the difference.
Yeah. But do you think that, because I did wait till I was older. I was almost 30 before I had my first child.
Oh, bruh. You was kind of sick.
I was like 28, 29. So I was a little more mature. I wasn't young or impulsive. I took my time. You know, I was in the field of psychology, so I love to psychologicalize everything. So, you know, I don't know if that was good or bad. Was that good or bad to wait that long? Should I wait it when I was?
That's such a great question. So there's like this kind of running joke amongst my little friend group where they were like, Jesika, you was on to something having your kids so early. We didn't even know, you know, because now here we are in our 40s with 12-year-olds, 8-year-olds. Right. We crazy.
You got a 7-year-old.
You know, right. They was like, we didn't know you was on to something. But I mean, like, when we think about, now, I don't know about like your grandparents, but like, I know people in my grandparents' generation who had children at 16, were married, okay? 14. So that question of like, is it good, bad? I really do not know. I mean, I think that that's a personal conversation. I can tell you right now, in my 40s, having grown children, that was the best decision I never knew that I made. Back then. But, and then there is also this connection that I think I have with my kids because I grew up with them. Some may say that I did my children and maybe myself a disservice, but it worked out for us. Like, so I was raised by my grandparents, you know, just to kind of give a little bit of context of what I mean. And so there was this huge generation gap where there's 2 generations in between us. So I felt very disconnected from them. Like, the things that I was going through, they don't have a clue of, they don't remember, they don't care. What didn't happen like that for them. But with my kids, because I was so close to their age, it was like, this is still fresh in my mind. You know, what y'all going through in middle school. Like, I can tell you how, you know.
You was able to peep game.
Right.
Like, what? That's how you knew that there was probably something else going on in school.
I'm fresh out.
Yeah. So you just hip. So, yeah, I think so, because where I would have been a little bit more on edge or even edgy, I think by the time I had kids, I could take my time. I wasn't in a rush. I didn't feel like I had an ego that I had to defend. And I had to prove something to other people. So I would take my time and work with my kids. And ultimately, I think they did benefit from that. but there may have been times I was inconsistent. I knew I should have held the line, but because I allowed them to reason with me, I budged, I moved, and I shouldn't have.
Right.
And so they, they're not sure, if I'm going to always stick to what I say.
Oh, yes. Consistency is so important.
I can admit it. They don't always think I'm going to stick to what I say.
Yeah.
So in order for them to realize I'm serious, I have to get stern. I got to get hard. I got to get loud. That's the only way they're like, okay, he ain't going to budge. And that's after them coming back 3 or 4 times.
What?
And there's sometimes like, you can just stop coming back.
Yeah.
Don't come back again. Don't ask the same thing. And they'll do it anyway. Because they know what they like. And my daughter has said to me, what you gonna do about it?
Oh,
not in that way. Okay, not because I would have jacked her. I would have jacked her up on that one.
Okay,
but she was like, you know, what are you gonna do? Like, you ain't going to hurt me.
Right.
Like, I ain't afraid of you hurting. And I'm actually like, I'm glad you don't think I will.
Yeah. Well, it's not about hurting you. So what she may be saying that you're gonna give in. So just let me.
I hear you. I don't think it's just giving. I think she's like, because like when you huff and puff. So my mom used to tell me, I'm gonna put the fear of God in. And there was times I didn't know if my mom would really try to hurt me.
Word.
Because she seemed a little crazy. I had a little bit of respect for her crazy. My kids know I ain't crazy. My kids know I ain't about to really go off the deep end. They know they're going to get a lecture. They know they're going to have to talk. They may get disciplined. They may not like it. But at the end of the day, they safe.
So I do believe that everybody needs to look crazy. Okay. They need to know what a look crazy is. But I would say maybe in defense of that, or maybe in addition to that, I'm not really sure. I remember having a conversation with my daughter when she became of age where she told me that there were things that she would not and did not tell me when she was younger because she knew how crazy I was.
Right.
She knew if I told you this, you really finna blow some shit up.
Right.
And I can't afford to have my mom in jail,
Right.
So then there's that.
And so I've had that conversation with my daughters because they do know. Someone mess with my kids. Everyone knows. Anyone that knows me, you mess with my kids, you sign on your death warrant. Period. Like,
right.
I'm crazy.
Now, that's
enough to do
suicide
that.
as far as I'm concerned.
But I have told my girls, like, don't ever not tell me something because you fear how I will respond.
Right.
I want to defend you. I want to protect you. I'm smart enough to know how to protect myself. I'll always be in your life. Trust me on that. Yeah, they ain't gonna get away with it. You best believe. But don't hold a secret, because that's what I've seen in my field. They will hold that secret. They've been hurt. They'll hold that secret and never tell you about it.
Right. And that's exactly what I went through with my baby. I mean, fortunately, it wasn't anything, like drastic. It wasn't like sexual assault or molestation, anything like that. It was just some old BS between friends or between, young people. But still, it was enough that she knew that if I told my mom this, because I knew the friend and then the friend's parents, it was going to be an issue, a bigger issue than what she really wanted to deal with. Right. And I think that's a part of that, maybe that crazy, that I led with that caused her to take that belief on.
Right.
So I think that there does need to be a healthy balance in, like what we show our children. But when it comes to disciplining them, I'm more going to err on the side of how I was raised. Okay. And that is absolutely, you don't get away with nothing. And I think the reason that I am more willing to err on that side than this whole gentle parenting era. And just a side note, I don't have grandbabies yet, but I told my babies, if y'all gonna be soft parents, don't bring them grandbabies to me. I'm not watching them. I don't do that. I spank, Yeah. But anyhow, I done lost my point saying that.
So I'll say this. I've seen tough parents. So let's talk about tough parents.
Okay.
I've seen tough parent out of love, and I've seen tough parent out of emotion and anger.
Mm-hmm.
And it's two different things.
It is.
I remember this one guy, shout out to Haskell. He wasn't a Haskell. Yeah.
Okay, that's the name.
Dude. So he wasn't an actual parent. I used to work at a group home for
Mm-hmm.
boys. And Haskell was over the work study. And he was one of those alpha, outdoorsy, work hard, know how to use your hand type men, right? And so when the kids would come, he didn't give them an inch. He didn't give them a millimeter. You know, he was the toughest dude you could ever come across, and he challenged them boys to the fullest. And if they couldn't do it, it wasn't no participation trophy.
I don't believe in those.
It wasn't no participation trophy. You either did it or you didn't.
Yeah.
And he will laugh at you if you couldn't do it. You're like, you can't push a lawnmower? You know, here, push this brick until you learn how to push a lawnmower. Like, he was that type dude. But you know, at graduation, you know who they all said they loved?
Every last one of them.
Every last one of them. They had the utmost respect and love for Haskell.
Yes. And
utmost respect.
I don't know what that is about the adults, you know, the parents. Because I've even heard there was this cube mate that I had when I had this one job. We shared a cubicle, and I would be on the phone with my daughter and reprimanding them about whatever. And she turned around to me one time and was like, I wish my mom had got to me like that, got on me like that.
Right.
And I was like, wait, huh? And we did not share the same ethnicity, you know, and I was just like, wow, I thought y'all liked that, you know, but she was like, no, like that to me would have meant that she cared. I would have understood that she cared about her getting on to me like that. And I never once thought about it that way. And I can also say that I don't think my kids actually connected that I'm getting on to you because I care. They didn't connect that neither. But that was the truth of what it is that I was doing. Like, I am teaching you right from wrong. And yes, maybe in this tough manner, because I care about you. I want you to be okay. I love you. This world is nuts.
Right.
And if you are going to fold over this, you know, that we dealing with at home or whatever, I'm not doing my job right. I'm not preparing you the way that I need to as a parent for the world.
We got to prepare our kids for reality, the reality of life. You know, I sometimes have to sit down and talk to my kids about what they see on YouTube and TikTok, because that ain't real.
It is so
I see these kids going to the store, spending thousands of dollars.
Let me find out.
As if money falls off trees. And I'm like, look, sweetie, that isn't real. Laughing, you know, getting all excited because they're getting a luxury car at 16.
Yes.
Like, that ain't real.
Yes.
That ain't real.
You about to get in my old car.
For real.
Yeah.
Like, that ain't real. That is not real life. 99% of people do not live like that. You know, and so don't play yourself.
Right.
It may seem real because it's reality TV, but it may be real for 1% of the population. But it's not real for you.
It's not. I have a friend who recently sold an ice cream shop, and he sold it because he had the absolute most difficult time keeping employees. And you know, a little ice cream shop, it's like a little teenager job typically or something like that. He was like, those was the ones that was constantly calling out or not showing up to work. And so he and I had a conversation on that. I'm like, where do you think that's coming from? And he said, Jay, I'm going to be real with you. I think it's us. I think it's the parents. We give our kids way too much that they don't realize that they have to work for anything. All they got to do is ask. Right.
And I'll tell you something that really ticked me off with my girls. So I'm an entrepreneur. I started my own business. And I feel like I want them to have that same opportunity. So I came to them and I'm like, hey, I want to start a business. And I was like, you know, let's start a vending machine business. We can get one vending machine. I knew someone that let us put a vending machine in their business, and it had a lot of heavy traffic. All you got to do is keep it stocked.
Right.
I'll make sure you have products. You make sure it's stocked. Make sure that the coins are filled up, and you empty out revenue each, and you got to keep up with it. It'd be your business. This is how you'll buy whatever you want.
I love that idea. They was like, why we gotta do that? We don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that. Now, I haven't done this, but my 7-year-old
Mm-hmm.
wants to um, do it.
Really? Also, the
And
baby
so,
guy.
but of course, I would have to be with her.
Of course.
So my 7-year-old wants to do it. And I'm like, you know what? I may do it. I'm gonna wait till she's a little bit older,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna teach her how to do it because she's a go-getter. She
Mm.
has a different personality.
But why? Why wait? Why are you waiting?
Cause I gotta do it. I have to do work. I got my hands in. I'm juggling a lot.
Oh, okay, so you're waiting because of you. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
got you,
me.
got you,
It's
got
not
you.
her. It's me.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about. So we're talking about what kind of snacks she wants.
I love
She's
that.
really big in like Nutella, a little Nutella snacks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I want. I'm like, you can't eat your own supply.
Right. Can't get high on supply. Sorry,
I was
bro.
like,
Yeah.
I was thinking about the 80s, can't get high on your own supply.
Right.
I was like, oh, you can't
Yes.
eat your own
No,
supply.
ma'am.
Yeah, we want the good stuff, but I don't want
Yeah.
stuff you gonna go and eat. But I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna show my oldest that hey, taking care of yourself is important
Mm-hmm.
there. So I think those are some lessons I need to teach a little bit better because
I
again, they're
agree.
spoiled. They get what they want.
So what that caused me to think, what you just said, is I think one reason why we are so soft is because we're not committed to being inconvenienced as parents that our parents
Yeah.
were. Okay. And I talk to my daughter all the time about it. And I think perhaps social media has something to do with that for at least maybe a younger demographic of parents.
Yeah.
Maybe they so busy
You saying
trying
mouthful.
to swipe and see what's good and stuff
Oh,
like
man,
that. They
you
just
saying
letting their
such
kids
a
run
mouthful.
amok. Yeah,
You
like you're
saying such a
not
mouthful.
committed.
We're not letting ourselves be inconvenienced.
We are not.
And I know this to be true because
Mm.
my kids, when they were growing up, they were so hungry for things. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
want to learn how to cook. I want to learn how to bake. And I remember when I first started baking with my kids, I would end up doing everything. They're
Yep.
sitting there trying to do it, and I'm like, no, let me do it because I didn't want no flour on the floor.
Right. All that mess to clean
I
up.
ain't waste no product or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make sure it looked perfect. And one day I was like, you know what? I don't care if I have to clean this kitchen from the ceiling to the ground.
Yes.
I'm gonna let them do everything. I'm gonna let them have
Right.
fun doing it. And that's how you really learn
That is
is
it.
letting them get exposure and not worry if it
Mm-hmm.
blows up. It just
Right.
let them get that exposure.
Right.
And I don't do that at all because I don't often like being inconvenienced
Mm-hmm.
myself.
Mm-hmm. We are so comfortable now. Oh, we
Oh,
are.
man, you
So
said something
yeah.
there.
Uh-huh.
You said something. Okay, let's wrap this up. We got to
Yeah.
come up with solutions.
Okay.
We got to come up with some solutions. So we understand the difference now between soft parenting
Mm-hmm.
and being, let's not even call it hard parenting because hard parenting sounds negative.
Yeah.
What would you call it? Let's call it something different.
I'm gonna be real with you. I just call it parenting.
Just
That's what I
parenting.
call it. Yeah.
Yeah. So soft parenting or just parenting.
I like that. Yeah.
What's the solution here? What is it? Because I think there's a balance. There are times where we have to comfort
Absolutely.
our children, let them know that it's okay. The world isn't going to always beat you up. Here's how to take some time and enjoy it. But also be prepared for 90% of the war.
Yeah. So like I think my critique, my advice would be to maybe accept that parenting is not about you, the parent. It's about that child and whatever comes with that, from that, whatever
I like that.
the demands are of you, then that's what you need to be committed to. However that looks, it's about them.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think for me, one thing coming from a soft parent, there's times where I have to hold my mule. Don't be so quick to comfort them from the pain, shield them from the pain, let them understand and learn, and then maybe come in and let them know that it's okay. I'm here for you.
Right.
It's going to be okay. I can fill in where you can't step up. but I need to see you try. I need to see you work.
That's solid. Yeah. I like that, John.
All right, soft parenting no more. We're gonna just meet in the middle. We're gonna parent. We're not gonna be hard. We're not gonna be soft. We're gonna be great.
Balance. Yeah, everything life is about balance.
I like it. I like it. All right, next time. So
all right,
we gotta keep up. These some dope conversations, man. We gotta keep
going off the deep end.